They say in Harlan County, there are no neutrals there. You could be a Union man or a thug for J.H. Blair.
With property and well, I don't know, like what's been going on within that sheriff's department.
Yeah.
As far, I don't have no law enforcement experience. I think it's kind of a plus because I strongly believe I don't have bad habits. All these officers that go from department to department become sheriff and all that bring with them their luggage and their problems.
Right.
I want to go in with a fresh start, do it so there's no excuse for failure. And I'm just gonna try my best to do the job properly and in the right way. You know.
Yeah. No. Keep going.
I know the budgets are low, and that's still no excuse. But he said there's a low morale. There's no excuse for it. There are ways to bring in income into the department, you know, into the general fund, such as tickets and citations, things that need to be done that previous people before me have not done, or say no tickets at this time. The officers don't write no tickets because we're gonna have a little contest against the commissioners, you know. It's just total chaos. See, what got me to want to run was I called the sheriff's department on different occasions.
Yeah.
And I was even hung up on or not even return call. It's like, welcome to my part of the world.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
I strongly feel if you call the department and don't get me wrong in saying this, if you call the department and I call you back just to tell you to go to hell, at least you got an answer.
Right. Contempt is actually... It's
better than you calling and waiting for days on end. I have a person I know needed the report for an insurance on a theft.
Yeah.
And finding insurance told him either you have 2 days or we're not paying you. He had to go chase down the officer, and it had been months. These guys are either going to do their job or they're going to work somewhere else.
Nice. Okay. You keep on talking, man, because I feel like I want to say a whole bunch of things to you too. Because I believe that you're right. Because if you've been in the system, then you kind of only know their ways, and if you haven't been on this system, you kind of have a citizen's perspective. Because I want to like the police officers, and actually I'm from Kentucky, but I've been here for about 2 years, and I'm liking Colorado police officers better than I like Kentucky police officers. Kentucky police officers, it just seem like they just want to yell at you, and they just wanted to be mean to you. They didn't really care about you. They would get you for some tiny petty little offense. But if I ever got robbed, if I had a house invasion, they would just kind of take a fake report, and they wouldn't actually go catch the people that's actually hurting people. And so I guess where I'm coming from is I just want to agree on the big stuff. Can we agree that murder, rape, stealing, and violence is wrong? Because when it comes to enforcing the law, there is discretion. There's laws all over the place. You got state laws, federal laws, you got all these local laws, and so you could really screw somebody. For an example, Pueblo, it's against the law to raise sunflowers in Pueblo City. So if I have sunflowers raising on my garden, technically I'm breaking the law. Technically I should get a $200 fine, and then I should go through the entire process. But there's discretion, and so really I just want to agree on the big stuff. Can we agree that murder, rape, stealing, and violence are some of the worst things that one person could do to another? And once we agree on that, can we stop it then? Can we stop those things from happening?
Well, one of the things I want to do is I want to try something. I want to try some common sense.
Yeah, that's good.
I don't believe in petty little stuff. If you're breaking the law, yes, you're breaking the law, but there's two different extremes, and you have to have some compassion.
Yeah, I agree.
As an officer, another thing I've seen the officers do, they'll grab somebody and throw them against the car and everything else. You know what? Then you wonder why officers are getting shot. They're wondering why officers are not trusted. It's the way you present yourself. And if these officers within this department think they're going to present themselves that way, they're going to be looking for their damn job.
I agree. The way I
they have to do it right. I mean,
yeah.
How can you expect me? How can you expect me to uphold the law when I'm doing everything the way I damn well please? That's wrong.
Right.
It is. I am totally against it, and I'm just trying to make a difference.
No, I like what you're saying. I was curious, how many police officers total does Conejos County hire? Because you were saying there's a problem.
Well, I'm not sure about officers, but there's a total of 30 employees.
Okay, so maybe 15, 20 officers, you think?
I'm guessing maybe 15. I'm guessing maybe 15.
Because it seems to me Conejos County's population 7,000, so that seems like 15's enough. And when it comes to raising revenue, can we think outside the box? Because I'm sure there's like $1 million budget that they got a hold of. So is there a way to do bake sales? Because when schools don't have money, they got to do bake sales and stuff. And so I would hate to think that you're just going to go.
Well, what the county is going to do now, they're trying to impose a sales tax. Not that I totally agree with it, but it will help.
Yeah.
In fact, that marijuana, my understanding is, I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, go ahead, though.
But, like, Needles brought in all that money for, marijuana, that they got new equipment. Needles it's doing real well for itself.
Right.
But being that it's a sold product, now Conejos County will be able to get some revenue out of that as well.
I think you should open the door and let everybody profit on it. It's here. Yeah, I hear you on that. So I guess just, I don't want just to turn up the citations. It seems crazy to me that we pay police officers out of our tax funds so they can harass us and take. I guess what I want is a police officer that knows, if I did wrong, I'll admit that I did wrong. I feel like I'm a pretty upstanding guy. I also don't go around hurting people. Like, I just don't do it. If I don't have enough power and wealth to help you, I'm not going to hurt you. But I guess some of the police officers, it just feels like they're the opposite of who I am. I feel like give people a chance. If you hurry up and, like sunflowers, if you saw me, there's a bunch of sunflowers and you didn't give me a warning, you just went up and give me a $200 fine because I got sunflowers, that's some bullcrap. Give me a warning, let me know what's going on, treat me like a human, treat me like a person first. If I prove to be, a crappy person, I feel like there's good and bad people in all groups, and if you give me a chance and it comes to pass that I'm just a crappy person, I'm just a psycho and I just don't, care about nobody, then, go ahead and, use the hammer. But until I give you a reason not to like me, if you're pushing up on me and you're doing all this, you're creating all the tension, you know what I mean? The person who is being violent, like you said, that was pushing against the person, they're the ones creating all the tension. And violence is one of the worst things out here. So if you're going around being violent, are you also going around raping and murdering too?
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
Cool.
It's, and I hate to say change because everybody says, oh, Obama changed.
Yeah.
If I'm elected, they will see a difference.
I think they will too, and the change.
I'm not knocking Mr. Crowther. I like the guy; he's a good guy.
Yeah.
But I feel I can do better. I feel I'm young enough. I'm a truck driver by trade. I drive a truck.
How old are you?
42.
How long you been driving a truck?
13 years.
Cool. That's good. That means you got working class values. You understand what we all got to go through. The struggle is hard enough. Why make it harder on people?
And then you had a question for me as far as for the working class?
Yeah.
I have to treat everybody the same without exception.
Right.
But it all comes to sensibility and responsibility. Maybe there's a reason. Maybe there's a reason you're doing what you're doing. But hey, I can point you in a direction. Here's another option you have. Do you need counseling? Do you need some either drug addiction or do you have problems? Or are you and the wife not getting along? It's just different things. It's like being a median.
Yeah.
Where what I can do, sometimes all you need to do is ask. But if you don't know who to ask, what do you do?
Well, I think of Andy Griffith. Andy Griffith, I know it's just a TV show, but it seemed like he wanted to go solve people's problems. A lot of times, I don't know, my mom had this incident where she's got a store in Kentucky, she got robbed, and so she's out $100 worth of stuff, and they eventually catch the guy, but they didn't make him pay her back. They threw him in jail and ruined his life. So really, it's like she didn't get any justice. They hurt the guy or whatever, but his life is ruined. When if you would have mediated that thing, maybe he's poor, maybe he's down on his luck or whatever, and he did a stupid thing, and he could have done $100 worth of labor for her. That way he could have paid her back directly. But instead of actually solving the thing, And then also, let me pitch this idea to you. I like what you're saying. Basically, you're saying you're going to be a human. That's what you're going to do for the working class. The rich people, the reason I asked that question, because the rich people have lawyers. And if you got a lawyer, it almost seems like there's a two-tiered justice system here. Those who got lawyers and those who don't.
Well, part of our problem in Conejos County,
Yeah.
in my opinion, it's one of the most corrupt in the state, from the judges all down.
Wow.
I have attorneys out of Denver. I have to have attorneys out of the Valley, because I've come to the understanding and the know-how through my personal experiences that the judges and the attorneys may argue like hell in the courtroom.
Yeah.
But on that Friday night, they're all sitting around the table at a restaurant and getting along, and they're buddies, and they will not backstab each other. They will not question each other. I got sued by the sheriff for the last election.
Yeah.
I got sued by the sheriff. I looked for an attorney in the county, and they all said, "You know what, Jacob? We can't help you in the Valley. We can't help you. We know each other. We just can't help you."
Okay, that's crazy.
We have to get along. We have to get along. We're a small community. So I brought an attorney from out of the Valley. I won my case.
Good.
I won my case, and legally speaking, if you win your case, the person that loses pays your court costs, correct?
Right, yeah.
The judge goes, "No, sir. Mr. Ortiz brought his own attorney. Mr. Ortiz will pay for his attorney." Mr. Ortiz won the case, but regardless, the sheriff does not have to pay his attorney fee.
Which judge was that?
Michael Gonzalez.
Because I feel like, even though I moved away from Kentucky, I feel like this is, I grew up in a small rural town, so I feel like I'm back home.
In a lot of ways, things don't change, but they either start playing my game, or I'll be the thorn in their ass for 4 years.
Well, yeah, that's Jacob. I'll be honest with you. You talk like a regular person. I'm very excited about you, and I actually hope we keep on talking like this, because there's change. Change is inevitable. Every time you wake up, you're going to eat food. You're going to burn, electricity. Change happens all the time, and if you're trying to actively stop change, you are changing things by not allowing things to change. So I think you should be prepared. There's some things that you want to keep the same. The stuff that's working, keep that the same. But let's just talk about poverty. There's massive amount. This is the poorest. Is this the poorest or one of the poorest? So we got lots.
This is one of the poorest counties in the state, yes.
Castillo and Conejos usually battle it out, right? So one of the two is the poorest. Well, there's a change. Let's get rid of this poverty. When I was asking that question about working class, when you were sitting there talking about it, I'm wondering, because I'll be honest, actually, I was driving out of Antonito. Now, it's 25 going through it, but as soon as you go around the curve there, it eventually goes up to 35, and then it goes up to 65. Well, when I passed the curve, I was like, oh, I'm about ready to go on home, and so I started speeding up, and then there was a police officer there, and it's the first time I knew the guy. Actually, not the first time. Second time I talked to him, I was real nice to him at the grocery store, but he seemed kind of like a dick, to be honest with you. And then when I drove away, I told him, I was real honest. I let him know what I was doing, what I was going through. I hit a deer, I had headlights and all this other stuff, so he didn't care. He just kind of screwed me. So immediately I made a list of things that I feel like, here's what a good man does. And this kind of goes in with community policing. You ever heard of community policing?
Yes, sir. Let me ask you a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Did it happen to be Officer Campos?
Yeah, it was.
Well, here's a little thing a lot of people don't know about Campos.
Tell me, because I need...
His father's in prison in Arizona. His father's a serial killer.
Yeah, well, I felt very nervous around him, because I felt like if the first chance you see me and you hurt me, I don't trust you. I don't trust you. I didn't hurt nobody, but I was speeding, and so technically, okay, maybe, I don't know. I don't know where the speed limit was, but that's good to know, because I wrote a whole list of what's the difference between a good man and a bad man. And so I listed all the things a good man would do. A good man would help somebody out. A good man would help somebody with a broken tire or a broken car. It would be awesome to see a police officer pull me over and be like, hey, you know what? You need a job? I got a job opportunity for you. Help people find jobs. Plant a tree. Help an old person across the street. And when I listed all those things, I was like, with this guy who, first time, like, he thought I did something wrong, he hurt me, would he do any of those things? And I'm not for sure if he would. So I was thinking, like, the community policing, just you being out and about, you walking over, asking how people are, helping people, just talking to people, your presence by itself would, give people comfort. So I think just being a human, just being a person, going around helping people, planting trees, doing all those things that I just said would actually be good police work. That there's a distinction I make. Sorry, I'm rambling, but I'm happy that you're listening.
Truth and honesty can go a long way. Truth and honesty will go a hell of a long way more than anything else.
I make a distinction between big city cops and county cops. Growing in a small county, it's like there's not enough stuff going on, so it's like they have to make trouble when there's no trouble that needs to be made.
There's plenty of going on. One thing I don't like about the deputies, I heard the comment, well, I'm not making a report. I think no matter how big or small the call is you're on, you're going to make a report. Even if it is a few sentences, I know where you were, I know what happened by your report.
Yeah.
This pick and choose is not going to be an option.
Good, because that's ridiculous too. Unless I'm a pathological liar and I filed 10 reports that are bullshit, yeah, I think you should listen to any complaint. That's actually what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to assume that the person complaining is the victim, if the way that I understand police law.
Uh-huh.
So I was making a distinction between big city cops and small county cops. In the city, I feel like there's always real crime. There's bank robbers and murders and shootings and other stuff like that. I mean, they found that guy on the rooftop or what have you. But most of the time, it's pretty quiet. It's pretty laid back, and there isn't really much that's going on. And so I don't want a cop that just a lot of times I think like prosecutors, they want to brag about how many people they've thrown in jail. I don't like that. I don't like that you're going around just hurting everybody. What I would like is that people are doing well and that maintain law and order. I'm not saying don't do that, but what I am saying is that just don't go around hurting everybody. I
do believe in law and order, but I do believe in officers being honest. Yeah. Officers doing their job properly. Officers that aren't gonna bullshit or drag you astray either. I want this department to basically run like a business, like a strict business, and either they're gonna do their job, love it or leave it.
I love that. I mean, we live in. Here's another thing too that you just mentioned. We live in the 3 branches of government. So ultimately, we do need good cops because when they say I saw this and that happen, if they have to go to court and testify, it's going to be based upon their good character. So if they're not good characters, then that's gonna everything that they do is just going to be questioned.
They have to be a credible witness. Yes.
Yeah. Good deal, man. Let me think here. The rule of law. What do you think about the rule of law?
In what way are you talking?
It's a political science term, and it's in democracies. It's that the law is the law, so everybody has to follow it, no matter if you're a judge or rich or poor, black, white. It doesn't matter.
Well, I believe everybody's equally entitled.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
But I don't believe that one person can just get away from doing this or doing that. It depends on the severity of the case. Like I tell you, a lot of it's just common sense and sensibility.
Yeah.
That like you said earlier, and I understand some people make a mistake. Well, I'm the kind of person I'll give you a chance once. Give you an opportunity.
Yeah.
But if you continue,
right,
then it's your bad habit.
Right.
But I do believe in truth and justice, and I'm hoping to get this position. I haven't been out politicking that much. Somebody made the comment about the other person that, well, he's out defending the people he loves. Well, I'm actually working a job too. I'm working a job that I love, and I need to find the time to do it as well. But there's no excuse why I'm not, as well as why he's not either.
Well, no. Do you need help?
No, I'm actually fine at this point. I just got to I had some of my signs disappear, so I'm putting up some more signs this weekend because the ballots come out, I believe, on the 12th and 13th.
Did you put a letter in the editor to the paper or anything? Because I feel like every person's hand that you shake is probably a vote for you.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to have an article in the paper probably Saturday or Monday.
No, that's good.
I to the editor.
I like you, and I like that you're actually questioning things. And I think I do trust you more just because you're a citizen. So you're one of us automatically. Where he's kind of been in the system. I did talk to him, and he was a nice guy, but he didn't seem like He seemed like he was answering my questions very vaguely. He was kind of like trying to feel me out and then sort of play off of me. He didn't answer any questions wrong, but I feel like you're forthcoming with information. You're passionate. You're like, I want you to hear what I got to say. And so I think it's a...
Well, I am one of you. I am one of you right now.
Right.
and we're going to get into this game and we're going to do it right. Like I say, I'm new to this, and a lot of people tell me, well, you're not certified. No, I am not certified, but in the Colorado state law, it requires the sheriff has up to 1 year from the time he is elected to get the certification needed.
Well, do you have a good sense of right and wrong?
And I am going to do it. In fact, I'm going to do it out of the valley. The reason I'm going to do it out of the valley is the Alamosa Police Academy. I don't trust it.
Okay.
I do not like the guy that was director, Dwayne Oaks, who left. The police chief of Alamosa used to be the director of it. He left, and the guy didn't get along. I don't like to be lied to. He lied to me. So I am actually going to go out of the valley. It's going to take probably 2 months to get the certification I need.
I mean, that's good that you're going to do that, but I feel like, in a way, you're already certified now because you got a good sense of right and wrong. So your certification is that you know right from wrong, and you're not, you're not going to treat people different. You're going to listen to people's complaints. You're going to, give people a break. You're going to actually take their humanity into account. So you're already kind of certified when it comes to that. So I'm glad that you're going to get, totally legit. But man, there's something else.
Also another thing people don't realize. I lost an older brother a few years ago.
Oh man.
And it may have been drugs, it may have not. We were never able to determine. The reports I received on his death.
Yeah.
And that gives me an upper advantage as well. It really gives me an upper advantage due to the fact that I've been through it. I can't have somebody sit here and bullshit to me on what they've been through. I've been through this path.
What specifically are you saying? Like, you don't know if he was killed or not? Or are you saying that you've been had somebody?
A lot of people will give me the reply that drug killed this guy and he was a druggie.
Right.
My brother was not a druggie, but my brother ended up passing away.
Yeah.
And we were never able to totally determine the actual cause of it.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. We can get into the war on drugs, but I kind of feel like the war on drugs has failed anyways, and so, I mean, we can get into that, but you're kind of saying that it's touched you, so therefore you understand how it is?
Yes, sir. Well, you know what? I'm at a port of entry. I'm going to talk to a guy. But feel free to contact me again sometime. I'd like to talk to you.
Yeah, can you answer one more question?
If that would help you. Okay.
The past sheriff, what did the past sheriff do that got him fired?
I ran against him. There was a bunch of activity that I questioned that he was doing.
Yeah.
And I ran against him and he lost to me in the past election.
Oh, in the primary, you beat him.
But I won the primary 4 years ago. But the sheriff that beat me, the last time he quit, he said there was no respect in his office. That he was just tired.
Oh, I got you.
So the sheriff I actually got out is the one that's actually the sheriff right now.
You got him out there?
I got him out, but the one that beat me quit.
Oh, I see.
So they had no choice. They had no choice but to put the one that I beat back in there.
I got you.
The sheriff right now is just a temporary sheriff to the election.
Right, I just didn't, usually sheriffs don't quit in the middle of their tenure, and then I read the article about the Board of Commissioners where was some legal speak where it said he'll quit, but there's no admitting of any wrongdoing, which usually means that there was some wrongdoing.
What it basically is, it was getting bad enough that before it gets worse, they'll just pay him to step down. And that's what they did. They just pay him to step down.
Oh, okay. Okay, I got you. All right, cool. Jacob Ortiz, you got stuff to do, so thank you for giving me a call back. I probably will call you back, my man. Good luck to you.
Take care. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Sheriff Chris. There is no one available to take your call at the moment, so please leave a message after the tone. When finished recording, press pound.
Yeah, I was wanting to get a hold of the acting sheriff of Conejos because I was wanting to do a forum, and I didn't want any trouble to break out. So I figured the current acting sheriff could show up for that, and that should put people's... I assume that everybody should be able to get along, but you never know. Yeah, so that would be cool if the sheriff could show up to that. It's on Wednesday, 6:30 to 8:30. My name's Jonathan Masters. I'm trying to get this organized. You're the second person I called. The principal said it was okay. So, yeah, call me if you get this message, if this is even the right person. 719-214-8544. Thank you. Yeah, is Mr. Crowther in?
Yes, just a second.
Okie dokie.
Can you give him just a second?
Yeah, go ahead,
And
be
he'll
patient.
come and grab it. Okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
no problem.
Right here.
Hello.
Yeah, Mr. Crowther.
Uh-huh.
My name's Jonathan Masters. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Pretty good. I've had some changes. I was in Pueblo. I'm a Kentucky boy, born and raised. I've been in Pueblo for about 2 years, and I'm in Conejos County right now, staying in an RV park, building a house over in Castillo County.
Okay.
So yeah, big changes, but everything seems to be going actually pretty optimistic, or pretty good. So I'm pretty optimistic about everything.
Good. So you're building a house in Castilla?
Yeah, but got some cheap land over there, but there's they got like 71 pages of planning and zoning, and really the main thing, the signs ain't the main thing, but like the main thing is septic tank. So as long as you get a septic tank, and then they'll let you do it yourself most of the way, and that's good because I'm working class. I don't have that much money.
Yeah. They're kind of stickler on that septic tank and all that.
That makes sense. So actually, I wasn't. I don't know. I guess I did the math to it, and actually, I only need a 1,000-gallon tank, but they're making me give $1,250, and it's like another $500, which is, I don't know. I guess maybe 20 years from now, I'll probably be happy that it was bigger. But
you might. I just went through that last fall. My septic had been in there 20 years, and the leach field quit me. And
wow.
I thought maybe I was going to have to raise it up and get a pump, and they done their tests and stuff, and says, no, you can get by. I was just right on the borderline, and
ooh, that would have been a mess to clean up.
Oh, they said like $16,000 if we'd have had to win the one. It cost me about $3,000 as it was, but yeah.
Well, welcome to my world. I appreciate you actually asking me about my struggles. I was I guess I don't know really where to begin. Just with the let's start with the 3 branches of government. So, do you know which branch of government you work for?
In the legislative or the judicial system.
It's okay. I asked only one police officer has actually known this question.
Really?
Technically you work for the executive branch. You work with the judicial probably most. You kind of nab them and then they sort of slab them. The legislature, they're the I guess
they're the lawmakers.
Well, they're the lawmakers, but in the Conejos, the county commissioners it's actually combined, so they're both executive and legislators. So they're not there's not really a division there, but Yeah, they're your main bosses.
Right, exactly, yeah.
So you like you agree with the three branches? I guess you think about the three branches and give me a better answer next time. The rule of law. Are you familiar with the rule of law?
It depends on what you're referring to there.
Okay. The reason it's connected with the three branches. The reason why I like the three branches, the whole idea is we didn't want a tyrant. We didn't want just one person looming over the rest of us, so we divided those powers up kind of arbitrarily, but to prevent tyranny. And I really like that. The rule of law is another thing about democracy. It's that we all got to follow the law. So it doesn't matter who you are, whether you're rich, poor, whether you're, a politician or a regular citizen, you got to follow the law. So the rule of law means that everybody must follow the law. Nobody is above the law.
Yeah. But with the three branches, it keeps it in check, too. The government don't get...
You like to think so, but I don't know, because I guess the theoretically that's how it's supposed to, but sometimes it seems like police officers are able to do what they want to do, and then the judicial branch, sort of the police branch, wags the judicial branch dog. So whereas the police, they'll do so-and-so, and whether the judicial branch wanted it done or not, they'll usually go along with it. But what about the legislatures? What about the executives? You know what I mean? So it's like I don't know. I want checks. The whole point is that I guess we're not born good men, so you need to have somebody over your shoulders. So that's why you got three branches, right? Everybody's.
100%, yeah.
Would you consider yourself a good man?
I'm sorry?
Would you consider yourself a good man?
Well, I think so.
Well, I guess I grew up Christian, but I've fallen away from the faith. But I believe in goodness, and I believe that you should treat others the way that you would want to be treated. It's logical,
It is. It's logical, and I don't care who they are. The upstanding, the convict in jail, that they're still human.
Nice.
You treat them the way you would want to be treated. You absolutely.
How have you enjoyed this campaign so far?
If I knew what I knew about politics, I may not be running.
It's almost over. You think you'd be able to hang in there and see what the verdict?
Oh, I'm going to hang in there absolutely, and that's just. I'm not sorry I run. I'm not sure. I like politics because I like to be truthful and upfront.
Yeah.
And it seems like in politics, some of them are not, and I don't like that. If you're going to vote for me, fine. If you're not going to vote for me, tell me. I can accept that.
I love the truth. So if you want to break my heart and just be like, look, the war on drugs, I would assume you're going to protect the marijuana industry, but you're going to go after the heroin and all the hard stuff.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I
know there's a lot of people that don't like it.
Yeah.
But you know what? It was voted in. It's the law now, and protect it.
But I was saying that I feel like the whole war on drugs has failed. The drugs are winning for the last 70 years, and so I feel like we got to do something completely different. But I guess what I was saying is I assume that you would be in favor of the war on drugs for the hard drugs.
Right.
Okay, so and that's, even though I disagree with you, I would rather you tell me the truth. I'm a policy guru, and if you're just, blowing hot air at my butt, eventually I'll find out about it.
And that may hurt me in the long run, but I'm not going to blow smoke.
No, don't say that. I think always go with the truth, because you can't really go wrong with that.
Exactly, you don't go wrong with the truth.
What kind of ideas do you want to bring to the table? Do you have a platform?
We've got to stop the theft, and I've got ideas to do that. I don't want to put all my ideas out there because some of it I don't want the general public knowing just how we're going to do it.
Yeah.
So that they can counter that,
Sure.
But I do have ideas to stop this theft. I think an honest person works and works his tail off for his property, and I hate to see people come in and steal it from them.
Yeah, God, actually, sorry, the operating philosophy. That's what would you say is like your operating philosophy? There's a whole bunch of like cop slogans. There's one to protect life, liberty, and limb. One that I really like is that the law is there to protect one person from injuring another person. And so when it comes to, I mean, there's law and then there's morality. And I guess I'm more of a morality person just because the big things like murder, stealing, rape, violence. I think those are the 4 worst things out there. So, yeah, people work hard. You expect to have your stuff there. Somebody just sat around and then just jacked you when you were gone. That's horrible. That's ridiculous.
And there's a lot of that going on. And you hit it. Our number one deal is to protect life and people from injury. That's number one. You always protect life first, and then people's property, after that. But yeah, to protect life and to treat everybody the same. Everybody's equal. It don't matter who you are. If you're one of the commissioners or you're one of the ones that people think are nobody. No, they're somebody.
Right. No, that's wonderful. Everybody, even the small person. I was watching Webster. He was real tiny, but he was able to crawl through the hole and save everybody. So
yeah,
everybody's got their use.
Yeah.
You don't have to tell me, I guess, the secret plan to stop the stealing, but I feel like there's some just kind of common sense things that immediately strike me. And I guess, are you talking about like the Sanford? Is it, because full disclosure, I'm a marijuana migrant, so I like the marijuana. I don't care for alcohol, and I don't care for any of the other stuff. So, I hate to think that there's people that's coming over here for the marijuana and then they're bringing trouble too. So if that's the case, then I feel like I don't want that. I don't want that kind of crap in there. So I feel like the one thing that we could do, get more police, put more funding, maybe that'll help. But another better thing is, how about get the community involved? I think the best way to get a safe community is for everybody to know each other. Just to have a general sense of who they are, instead of just being worried and scared all the time. If you just say hi to somebody, you might all that anxiety will just go away. And then,
exactly.
And then we have more things in common. So, some new people move down the street. Well, I know all 5 people around here. So if all of a sudden, our houses start getting broken into, it's not us. It's probably, the new person down the street.
Right, yeah. And then you get to know your neighborhood and watch out for the neighborhood. It's the law enforcement can't be everywhere, and
right.
Watch out for each other, and it really helps us. And that's going to be a big push for people to, first of all, mark their stuff and take serial numbers and things, but to watch out for each other.
I guess this is just coming from, I was reading a bunch of citizens arrest laws in Colorado, and the historical tradition of citizens arrest was if, we got a small town and some, bank robber comes into town and you didn't do nothing about it, you're liable. You actually, if you see a crime, you have to step up and you have to stop it and do something about it. Whereas I'm not advocating just, allow citizens to arrest anybody and everybody. What I am advocating, I lived in Pueblo and I was living right next to some gangsters, and I felt 2 things. I felt, number one, I didn't know for sure if the police officers would be on my side or not. Push come to shove, I did call them. One was nice. The other guy acted like he wanted to arrest me because the guy was the perpetrator. There was a guy that was hitting a woman, and then the woman left, and then the guy left, and then I was the only one standing there. So I called, but he was kind of pushing me as if like, well, what were you doing? What were you up to? It's kind of like, man, I'm the good guy here. So, give me a break. And then the other thing is, I want good cops. I want good police officers. I really do. And then the other thing is, if, like you just said, you only have, the sheriff's office only has so many deputies, and there's 30 or 7,000 people. So that means you can't be everywhere at all the time. So the other thing that I wanted as a citizen was the right to to be able to defend myself and not go to jail for it, because there was this one incident where the guy, he shot and killed the guy, but the guy was stealing his car, and so he shot and killed him, and maybe I don't know all the evidence that was in it, but then he goes to prison, and then they beat him up, and now he's a paraplegic. He won $1 million in there, but who would, wish something like that on somebody? So the two things that I wish is either A, get good police officers that just go around, stop all the crime. That's not totally possible, but at least get the good ones. And then B, allow us to defend ourselves. Like I said, if we can agree that murder, rape, violence, stealing, the big things are wrong, then when we see, a big thing happening, then I think it should be okay we could call you guys and it takes 20 minutes. I think you have to get used to us doing something about it, citizens arresting him, sitting him down, and then calling you guys and waiting to pick him up. Or I don't know exactly what the policy is, because I think I could probably get a little...
Protect life.
Yeah.
Right now, the law, you have to feel you're in jeopardy for your life,
Yeah.
or a third person.
Right.
If you feel their life is in jeopardy.
Right.
Yeah. Right now, the way the law is, you can't shoot somebody over property.
Right.
And
Oh, I see what you're saying. So the guy, well, yeah, I guess just make it, I guess a consistent policy. I'm not wanting to shoot people. I just want to, the thing was, okay, I'll be honest with you. Me and the guy that got into it with the woman, we tussled a little bit because he was on my property. He was sitting there trying to damage some of my stuff. And so I was, trying to get him off there. And since I was the last one standing, he ran away, right? And if they looked at my fist, they might have seen like evidence. And then if I would have admitted that I struck the person, they might go into jail for assault now. I think that's crazy. If the police officer would have saw what I saw, they would have arrested him immediately, and then they would have got the property for that lady. Instead, he gets away with it. He took her property. The whole thing was just totally messed up.
Yeah, it sounds like it was messed up.
Yeah, it does, man. It's frustrating. Because, if my tags are out of date, all right, fine, But I feel like when there's real stuff, like someone robs somebody or there's violence and murder and rape, I haven't been around those things, thank God. But I've had home invasions, and I feel like the police officers kind of just wrote the notice up in the air. Oh yeah, we're jotting it down. Sure, we'll get them. And it's kind of like, what the hell? I felt very violated. They can come in my house. They can come in my house whenever they want to, and you're not even really doing anything about it. I think we need to scare them so much that they'll never even think about doing it again. But I can't even sometimes. Feels like
they come in your house, invading your house. That's a threat to.
That's castle law. Yeah. That was in Louisville, so that's actually, I've been very happy with Colorado police officers. Kentucky, I don't know. I feel like Colorado at least gives you a chance, and they say, all right, you're human, what's going on? And then, and I like that. It just seems like they care about me instead of just kind of yelling and being the boss and just looking for trouble.
You gotta find out what's going on and get to the bottom of things for you.
I agree. I guess last question. Why should I vote for you over your opponent?
Well, one of the big things, my opponent does not have 1 minute law enforcement experience.
Huh.
I've got 40 years of law enforcement.
Ooh.
Certified and qualified for the job. My opponent would have to go through the basic academy, start from the basics. And I'm working down at the sheriff's office right now. It's kind of stuff. Even with 40 years, there's new stuff, and it's like, whoa, you've got to learn how to run this. And I wouldn't even consider if I didn't have any experience.
No, I feel you. There's, I guess I see it kind of both ways. You could be so indebted in the system or embedded in the system that you can't change. And then, and like you said, you could also just not know what the hell you're doing and then just mess the whole thing up.
I see exactly what you're saying too, and get embedded and think you know everything. No, just like I said, there's things that blow me away that I didn't know after 40 years, and you got to be willing to change and willing to learn. You never know everything.
Have you been in Conejos, the sheriff's department the whole time, or where the 40 years?
I started out in Sanford as the police chief there.
Oh.
I worked 3 years there, way
Nice.
back, and then I went to La Jera and was a sergeant there in La Jera, for 7 years, and then I got on the patrol. I worked up and got in their vehicular crimes unit.
Wow.
I worked there for 29 years.
The Colorado State Patrol?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
How long you been deputy? And
Since last January. I retired last January.
I've been here for a couple months. What exactly happened with the last sheriff?
The last sheriff, I haven't seen him since he walked out of office.
Is that?
I have not seen him. Some of the other guys have and stuff, but
I read just the very vague, but essentially it was lawyer talk, and that he's quitting and they're firing him, but he admits no wrongdoing, and that usually means there was some wrongdoing.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
they were getting close to him, and
So I guess it doesn't matter particularly, but I guess if it was, if there was if he was, I don't know, taking evidence out of the locker or something, that's something you could say, we definitely won't do that. But overall, it just means it's an open seat. So somebody new is going to take over.
Yeah.
Well, Mr. Crowther, is there anything else? I think I've exhausted all my questions, but I might come up with another list and call you back if that's all right.
You betcha.
I appreciate you calling me. This makes me feel actually very, very comfortable with you. So good luck with your campaign, and thanks for talking with me.
Thank you.
All right,
And
bye.
you have a good day.
You too, sir.